So this could be the most undriving review I've ever done. I've had an accidental Quadrifoglio test drive, and I wanted to share some thoughts with you. But the problem is I didn't have my nice Ducati. Didn't have my cameras with me, so I can't really show you what it's like while I'm driving it. But there were lots of whoops and hollers and holy schmolies made as a result of it. But I kind of wanted to talk to you about my first impressions of this car, because I drove a C63. I've not told you that. I've took a C63 coupe out, and although I owned a naturally aspirated C63 before I had the F-Type, the C63 coupe, I was thoroughly underwhelmed. Now, what do I think about this car? This is way better than the C63. I love the way it feels. I love the way it sounds. I've got a few things to note. When I first got in it, the one thing you'll note, and a lot of people talk about this, is the brakes. They're, they didn't feel like they were there to start with, but they are there, and they're pretty good once you get going. Let me just turn this air conditioning off. So that's not helping matters. But just the feel of it, it feels so tight, this car, and you can feel the pedigree it's come from by coming from the Ferrari engineering. Now, everyone talks about the pinpoint steering on this, and I kind of went, yeah, okay, whatever. But when you get in it, you really realise how pinpoint the steering actually is. Sorry, there's lots of beautiful cars going around here, including a Ferrari F40 I've just seen. Anyway, that's besides the point. The steering is absolutely precise. And I would say that that's also reflected in how lots of the other characteristics of the car, when you drive it, it's really tight. These cars don't come with a huge amount of options. One of them is the carbon-backed seats. This doesn't have them normal seats, but as a result of that, what you do get is you get the full electronics pack, heated steering wheel, all that good stuff. You get this beautiful steering wheel, which I will show you in a minute, with the carbon fibre inlays and the... I always get it wrong. Alcantara. Why can't I say it? Sort of like suede feel leather to it, which is really, really nice. Dashboard wise, again, really nicely laid out. A brilliant high definition display. I love the fact that it's more modern than other cars that I've looked at around this sort of price range. The dash is quite good. I've not had a huge amount of time configuring it. You've then got this switch down here where you can configure the the driving modes. So you have D and A, which is a nice touch. A is automatic. And do you know the thing I like about this car? Is when you drive it in automatic mode, it's super comfortable. You could take it on long journeys. It's really, really, good. I don't know what else there is to say about it. It's lovely to drive in that mode. Normals, again, just a little bit more punchy, less environmentally friendly. And then you have dynamic, and I actually had it with the soft suspension setting, so you can adjust that. And again, that kind of made a real difference to the ride. Like, the ride's really nice. You don't feel like you're driving a car that you're bouncing around on and it's a bit harsh. It just felt really, really comfortable. The one thing I would say about this car is I think bits of the interior let it down a bit. You've got this lovely, on this one, carbon fibre inlay, huge glove box bit in the middle. The seats are very nice with a sort of mix between leather and, that word I can't say again, suede Alcantara. But the doors are a little bit plasticky, so if you have a sort of look down here, you can see the door bins and stuff, and around the door cards are just a little bit, cheap. But the rest of it's so nice. They've gone to the effort of putting this beautiful leather stitched dashboard in, around here as well on the tops. You can see that dashboard there, just stitched up there. Stitched up, that's probably not the right word. But overall, I'm quite excited about this car. So if I look at my shortlists, this is pretty good. It comes with a whole bunch of features. These cars are like 70-odd thousand pounds new. This particular one I'm driving is a year old or 18 months old, and comes in about, I think about 58,000 pounds. Probably a bit rich for my budget, but it just shows you what you can get with them. I'm just kind of trying to show you around a bit of it. You know, this car has a carbon roof. So the one downside is you don't get much light because you don't have a sunroof, but like, you know, who needs that? Carbon roof, carbon bonnet. And that's another thing, is you get this little glimpse of carbon under the bonnet as you're driving around. Not that you've got a lot of time to be looking at it, but back to that engineering and the pinpoint driving. To me, it's really confidence inspiring. It just feels so together. I'm still just looking at these bits of plastic and just a bit annoyed about that. You know, you could make that finish better. Arguably, the finish feels much better than it did in my F-Type. It just feels tighter, better built. Who knew? Italian's better than English engineering. But it is overall a just stunning, stunning car. Not only to look at, but also to drive. One of the other things I'd say is, as you probably know, if you've watched loads and loads of reviews on this, is that when you put the DNA into dynamic, you still don't get the exhaust notes till about, I think it's just under 4,000 revs. The exhaust sounds lovely. There are ways to bypass that. I'm already aware of that. It only comes on when you put it in race, which also turns off all of the traction control. I'm not sure in a test drive that's really what I want to do. Sorry, it's actually really sunny here today, which is unbelievable. So you're getting this, I'm getting like a sunbeard, which is nice. I just wanted to give you a quick view from this car. I'm pretty happy, as you can tell. This is definitely a contender to replace my engine is beautiful, the sound it makes is beautiful, it seems to be built really well. My dilemma is, do I want a four-door car? Is that a sports car? But this is more of a car than the F-Type, and it is definitely a driver's car, and hands down to me over the C63. I'm really sorry if you are fans of that stuff. There we go. That is the Alfa Romeo Giulia, always get that wrong. The Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, and my word, does it deserve that badge and some. It has been just an absolute stunning car to drive. I've really enjoyed taking this car out for a bit of a spin. I hope you've enjoyed my little review, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.